Onye wetara ọjị wetara ndụ. He who brings kola brings life. Kolanut, popularly known as native kola or Oji Igbo by Igbos, has taken an unparalleled position in the cultural life of Igbo. Indeed, it serves as a harbinger of peace. It must be clarified at this point that there are two species of kolanut known to Igbo: the one grown in Igbo land, which bears Oji Igbo, and the one grown in the western part of the country but consumed mainly by the people from the north. It is referred to as Ojiawusa or Guru, which is not used to perform any traditional or cultural ceremonies in Igbo land. It is merely consumed sparingly in Igbo land just for consumption's sake. It is only Oji Igbo that is used in Igbo traditional or cultural ceremonies. Kolanut has been so elevated in Igbo land that no marriage ceremonies, installations of traditional rulers, resolutions of disputes, and cultural festivals, amongst others, are ever done without performing the Kolanut rituals, which must be done in Igbo language. So, for Ndi Igbo of the southeast geopolitical zone of Nigeria, Kolanut means a lot of things to them. Presentation of the revered fruits, however, differs in Igbo communities, as in some places it is accompanied with money, no matter how little, or white chalk, nzu. It should be noted that in Igbo land, a woman does not break kola nuts, and the woman does not take kola nut from the plate. A male, no matter the age, takes it and then hands it over to her. Women are also forbidden from planting or climbing kola nut tree or plucking kola nuts. Kola nut is so respected in Igbo land that in some communities where anyone who steals kola nut must be ostracized. Some people even believe that even if one is not caught while stealing the kola nut, the gods will expose the person and he would confess publicly. Once that is done, his entire family will be banished and his house set ablaze to end his generation. Kola nut, however, also has medicinal and food values, but the focus is on the traditional and cultural significance of this fruit in Igbo land. No serious Igbo person jokes with the myths surrounding kola nut. Below are some commonly accepted beliefs about kola nuts and their significance. The belief is that the kola tree was the first tree on earth and its fruit the first fruit. The species usually used to perform ceremonies in Igbo land is the native kola, which is brown in color, as opposed to the yellow type called goro. Kola is the first thing served in every function or ceremony, personal or communal agreements, welcoming of a visitor to an Igbo home, and settling of family disputes. Ceremonies in Igbo land are incomplete without the presentation of kola nut. Most important gatherings in Igbo land are conducted with kola nut even before the main ceremony. If it is not presented, it means the gathering or ceremony is not yet complete. Presentation of kola nut symbolizes peace and acceptability. Usually, the oldest person in the gathering performs the kola nut ritual, although in some communities, the youngest male breaks the kola nut after the ritual prayers by the oldest person present. In some communities, the breaking of the kola nut is done according to seniority of the villages and not based on the ages of those present. However, the person from the oldest village may be favorably disposed to allow the oldest person present to perform the ritual by merely touching the kola and passing it on to the oldest person. In Igbo land, the distribution of kola is a task many people would not want to get involved in, as the distributor must be conversant with the seniority of all the people present. If one makes a mistake while carrying the kola nut around, he is traditionally admonished according to norms in the community. In fact, such an error is considered as very grave, as it is an indication that the offender is either not responsible, nor grounded, nor a reliable person. In Igbo land, Kolanut is used to welcome our visitors. When you visit an Igbo man and all is offered without him offering you kolanut, you can claim that he did not entertain you. When you have your in-laws visiting, the first thing offered them is kolanut. Even visitors from other ethnic climes, what they are offered first is kolanut. It is used to say you're welcome before any matter can be discussed. It is presented in marriage ceremonies, especially our traditional marriage ceremony. It is most important on that day. The in-laws are going to pay for a daughter's dowry. Kolanut features in almost every area of that day's activities. Also, a man does not break the kolanut in the presence of his in-laws, as doing so will be interpreted as a sign of disrespect. Kolanut symbolizes unity and love. Giving your visitors kolanut shows that you love them and that they are welcomed. Kolanut is a small object but mighty in action. Kolanut represents mighty things. You cannot kill a cow in Igbo land without presenting kolanut first. Kolanut serves as a mediator between the ancestor and living. We use kolanut to call on our ancestors to come and receive what we have for them and bless us. Kolanut does not understand any foreign language except the native language of the Igbo community, Igbo language. This is because our environmental spirit hears only Igbo. Therefore, it is only in Igbo language that you pray with kolanut and our ancestors will hear. You can say any prayer in the English language, but not when using kolanut, because our ancestors will not hear it. Kolanut is what we use to invoke the spirits of our ancestors. Kolanut is used to communicate to their ancestors. It serves as a mediator between the ancestor and living. If a traditional ruler or elderly person prays for you with kolanut, he will invoke the spirits and command them to guide and guard you. Kolanut should be given its respect. It has spiritual and socio-cultural significances in Igbo tradition. The way a kolanut is lobed determines its spiritual import in Igbo land. The ancestors eat the eye or tongue of the kolanut, which is the embryo. When the kolanut is broken, the eye is extracted and thrown to the unseen divinities before the rest of the lobes are consumed by humans. Kolanut is so important in the life of the Igbo such that it breaks the day for a typical Igbo home. It is therefore not unusual to hear among Igbo traditional families that conduct morning prayers also calling on voices of their ancestors to welcome the birth of a new day with kolanut invocations. Some people see breaking and eating kolanut as a feast of love, trust, and togetherness. It can be used as a travel companion by just dropping a lobe on the way at any boundary between one state and another to ask the owners of the land for their protection and presence. The number of lobes a kolanut has connotes different representations in Igbo land. 3-lobed kolanut represents equality and justice. If the lobes are 4, it represents the 4 market days in Igbo society, that is Eke, Ori, Afo, Nkwo. 5-lobed kolanut represents fertility and wealth. If it is 7-lobed, it is highly spiritual. In summary, kolanut represents so many things in Igbo cosmology depending on the angle one is coming from. It basically symbolizes peace, unity, reconciliation, integrity, life, fraternity, hospitality, goodwill, and kindness. What did you know about kolanuts before now?